It's a contradicting type of emotion, because you want to be proud of the work and what you've done, but at the same time, the story is we failed a child. But it's important to understand that with all of this, I am very proud to be behind this story, to be an advocate for it, and if you call it an ambassador, that's a huge privilege, to keep telling the story of Hind. It's literally one of my biggest honors in life.
البنت عم تنزف متصوبة، اعملوا شيء مشان الله.
شغلي بسرعة واكتبوا انها متصوبة وبتنزف.
فكرة رائعة. وتنسيش تكتب لهم بالإنجليزي she's bleeding.
Well, I'm grateful. It's amazing what we did, but in the same time, the kind of story and like you can't really celebrate that what you achieved, because still you are talking about a child 5-6 years old who's beginning to be rescued, and we failed as humans to rescue that child. I'm super grateful to be here in San Sebastian.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite stations to tell the story. I've been looking forward to being here. But as I told you, like, I'm grateful, but there is something inside of us that can't celebrate it. I know it's the talk of the year, this movie, and this is like great for us and for the story to be told around the world. But that's the point between, like, to be happy about it, it doesn't kind of exist.
Yeah, it's
You're happy about the story to be told, but you can't be really happy and celebrate this success because it's a sensitive story. That's.
But the community in Spain is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already feel the energy, and this is before the screening too.
Yeah, I feel like the whole city is waiting, and
yeah.
that's like, it's like just touches my heart deep inside. When I got the script, you read the script, you feel it, but I never read the script and I start crying like a child. In the process, as we say, like, really we had lots of support from everyone on set. Everyone came with a pure heart in there. Bless them all. Every single one of them was like with a pure heart. They want to serve the story, they want to tell the story. So the first moment when I got the call, I thought we gonna be speaking to somebody in the room who's talking to us, but then we realized on set that we will be speaking to the real voices. The record will be inside the movie and we will be talking to that voice. So the moment I received the first call from Hind's cousin, which is Layan, I realized we're gonna be destroyed. We're gonna be destroyed, but I'll do everything it takes to tell this story. That's all it was in my head, in my heart. I'm here. I know I gotta be destroyed as a human before being an actor, but I'll do everything it takes to do it. So it was hard, but it's an honor. And the biggest honor of my life as an actor to be part of this film.
ايش عن جد؟ تفرج هاي السوشيال ميديا. طلع شوف اطفال مشلخه مرميه على جناب الشوارع. فكرك عن جد صوت طفل صغيري خايفه راح ياثر فيهم او يفرق على حدا؟ هي بحاجه امبولانس.
And I will say that, we read the script, so we know what Hind says. But in rehearsals, her voice was kept hidden from us. And this was the director's decision, which I thought was brilliant. So actually, the reactions you see on screen, we heard her voice for the first time on action. So, and we thought we were prepared because we know what she says. But when you hear, it's a completely different story. I heard her voice for the first time on action, and I broke down the first take. And I had to leave, and actually Motaz, even though him and I had just met on set, he followed me, and I broken down before even starting. This was the first day, and I said, I'm using up all my energy. Am I going to be able to continue? But something about shooting, when you hear her voice every time, it brings you back. You feel like you're actually on the call with her. And you're bound to at some point lose yourself, but you bring yourself back as an artist. You say, why am I doing this? I'm doing this for a reason. I want to give it my body. I want to give it my voice. If I get sick, if something happens to me, it's okay. This is the least I can do as an artist. It's a complete form of surrendering to a story that deserves this much power. And if this was translated on screen, then I am so grateful for the work. It's hard not to be impacted personally, I think. Hind's story is beyond just a Palestinian story. It's a human story. But I think with myself, I retracted back to the memories of my ancestors, my family, my grandparents, my parents. It's all the memories that have been passed down, kind of trickling out of my body, because I personally do not have a direct connection to that story. I wasn't raised in Palestine, but Motaz was, so I'm sure he'll elaborate more on that. But even as someone who hasn't been to Palestine, my grandparents, my parents I'm Palestinian, so you're bound to react the way you do. And even if you are not, I think, we had this conversation with the Colombian DOP, Juan, who's incredible, and he thought the first day, he said, maybe because I don't speak Arabic, I'll be able to disconnect and really think technically. I'll be able to film you technically. From the first day, he was the first one to break out. And it shows you that language transcends emotion. You don't need to understand the language to really connect to the story. It's a human, it's simply a story about a 6-year-old child who begged for survival and was not met with that. She was failed, and you hear her voice and you don't need to connect to anything really. You just listen to her. And that's actually the advice that my character, Rana, the real character, when her and I spoke, she told me, she said, Saja, I don't need you to act. I don't need you to think about how I felt. All I ask is listen to the girl, and you will respond the way I know you will.
During the film, I was listening to the voice and reacting and doing my job as an actor, but I couldn't disconnect myself from my childhood. In 2002, I was in Jenin, it's in the West Bank. There was a huge, massive, disgusting invasion on the West Bank, mainly on Jenin. There was rockets, tanks, Apaches, F-60, all kind of horror you can imagine in your life. It was there. So the moment I heard the voice, I was thinking of my childhood myself. I was so terrified. I'm a child that time. And not just me, every child in that city or in the West Bank. It was scary, especially in Jenin. They were bombing all the time, bombing. And you think okay, we are next. So growing up with that and hearing suddenly you are in a movie with a child, it just sent me back to my childhood, to the level I start to realize my traumas that I never healed from, and I never really faced my traumas to do anything about it. But that movie just sent me to all of these things I never really face it face to face with myself, just to discuss it with myself as a human. So it was super hard. And I thought after the movie, my life gonna be really hard. It was, and I still sometimes hear her voice in my head, in my dreams. Because there was even a moment that I was telling Saja, when we are off in a break, I told her let's just save her in our imagination. Mm-hmm. And we reached to a level inside the movie where I was yes, we're gonna do it. We're gonna save her. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's one of the things that I chose to be an actor, because I want to achieve things that I can't achieve in reality. At least I want to achieve them in my imagination and believe in them, and just by in the end, you know, the reality just slam you in the face and you realize that they killed her and they killed 6 members of her family in the coldest blood possible. And they are one of thousands of thousands. They are like the numbers even you're seeing on the internet. It's not the real numbers. We all know it's not the real numbers. Later in the future, the world will be like shocked, because what they are killing in Gaza, I don't believe it's 60, 70,000. There's many areas, as I said, they can't reach to it to bring their dead bodies, their own family. I have people in there, they tell me like, I can't get my brother, I can't get my kids. They are under the rebels, but the army's in there, I can't do anything about it. So anything that didn't reach to the hospital is not counted. There's many people, they just buried them, because why would they bring a dead body to the hospital? It's like the only thing you can do to a killed person or dead body, to honor them by burying them. So who would bother after all of these rockets and invasions to go, I want to go to the hospital, they count my brother or count, they don't care. You killed them already, like why would I go and count it? What you gonna do about 60,000 or 100? What's the difference between like 500,000 or 100,000? Like you're killing people, it's the same thing. So I'm sorry, I got emotional because it's just like, I wake up every day and I sleep just looking at the news. And I'm thinking if I'm gonna lose anybody tomorrow or today,